I looked at my husband's entire family at dinner and told them the exact reason why my mother-in-law is dead to me. For 3 whole years, my husband's entire family treated me like a fragile, broken little bird. Every time we had a get-together, someone would pull me into a corner and give me the exact same lecture. My sister-in-law Sarah would pat my arm and say, "Linda just worries about you. You really need to meet her halfway." His uncle Dan would tell me, "She is your family now. You can't hold on to anger forever." And my husband Chris, he would just look at the floor, completely silent, every single time. They all acted like I was this cold, bitter woman holding a grudge over nothing. But at our 4th of July family barbecue, I finally snapped. Linda hosts the barbecue every summer. This year, there were 22 people crammed onto her back patio. We were eating potato salad when Linda clinked her fork against her glass. She stood up, gave this sickly sweet smile, and looked directly at me. She said, "I just want to propose a toast to loyalty and to standing by the people we love, even when they push us away and make it so difficult." Sarah murmured, "So true," and smiled at her mom. Chris just stared at his burger. Then, Sarah's husband leaned over to me and whispered, "See, she is trying. Why can't you just be the bigger person?" That was it, the absolute final straw. I dropped my fork. It made a loud smack against the patio table. I looked around and said, "Does anyone here actually want to know why I haven't let Linda inside my house for 3 years?" The patio got so quiet you could hear the bug zapper buzzing. Chris froze. Linda's face went instantly pale. She said, "This is not the time for this." I said, "You brought it up in your toast, Linda, so let's clear the air." Sarah groaned, "Can we please just have one nice holiday?" I said, "Sure, as soon as I finish." I looked right at my mother-in-law and told all 22 people the absolute truth. 3 years ago, I had my second miscarriage. I was devastated. I went to a weekend grief retreat in the mountains just to survive it. Chris had to stay home for work. Linda told him she would come over and water my plants. I took a breath and kept my eyes locked on hers. Instead, she went into our master bedroom. She dug through my nightstand, found my private journal, and took a butter knife to pry the lock open. She read pages and pages of my deepest trauma, my grief over losing my baby, and my darkest fears that I would never be a mother. The entire table stopped breathing. Then she took photos of my journal, called Chris at work, and told him I was completely unhinged. She told him I was mentally unfit to ever have children, and that he needed to divorce me before I ruined his life. And when Chris kicked her out of our house, she spent the next 3 years telling all of you that I was just emotionally unstable and needed your pity. She didn't want to help me. She wanted to erase me. The silence was deafening. Uncle Dan put his beer down, looked at Linda, and asked, "Did you seriously break into her diary?" Linda started crying fake tears and stammered, "I was worried about my son's future. A mother has to protect her boy." I stood up, looked her dead in the eye, and said, "A good mother wouldn't use another woman's dead baby as a weapon." Chris finally looked up. He grabbed my hand, stood up from the table, and without saying a single word, we walked out.